Hi, my name's Checkered Patterns, and today I'm going to show you 5 mix techniques I used while mixing Loose Ends by Lazy Jacks. So this song was originally called In My Head, but we didn't want people to find this song when they searched up for it. So we changed it to Loose Ends. Jackson works from home and he wanted a song to remind him to go outside and adventure with friends. So I had to make sure that the song, when I mixed it, had that summer car trip vibe. Alright, so the first tip, the intro, I panned the guitar a little to one side and I filtered it out so that when the song drops, it adds like width and it sounds way fuller. Another thing I did was I reamped all of the guitar parts to give it a little bit more realness. It just adds all sorts of natural tones that you wouldn't normally get if you just plugged it into a computer. I also added a pitched octave of the guitar just to add some harmonics. Next up, we've got the bass. I added on R bass, which adds some harmonics and makes it easier to hear the bass. Then I also added Decapitator just to add like a funky distortion to it, and it also makes it easier to hear on worse speakers. What I did to the kick is kind of stolen from the EDM world. I added a high kick where I pitched it up an octave and filtered out the lows just to add a little bit of a clicky sound into the kick. Next up, the snare. I wanted it to sound a little bit more full, so I added some distortion to give it some crunch and reverb to make it sound like it was recorded in a massive hall. Lastly, we've got the vocals. For the vocals, I added some distortion. I boosted the EQ at 1.4K to make it sound a little bit more like a speakerphone. I also added a 1/16 ping pong slap delay, which kind of just makes it sound like a speakerphone blasting through a stadium.
Sit out in the stairs and talk a bit, and day in and day out, never tired of it. Let's pack a car and go for a trip, and we say we're gonna escape, but we know that we're shit. Could be gone for a day, could be gone for some time. I'm calling in sick just to pause real life. Let's pack a car and go for a trip, and we say we're gonna escape, but we know that we're shit. Because I'm clearing my head, tying up loose ends.